Hi, and welcome to episode 82 of Wilson Waffling Live. Yeah, sorry, I've pressed the button. I forgot to press record, so I've done it now. But we are recording and we are now live. So happy New Year, one and all. Now, remember, Wilson Waffling Live is sort of like a weekly roundup of educational stuff to do with both primary education and to do with the course at York St John University. I'm currently live on Facebook and on Periscope, and I actually have a new little viewer counter on Wirecast 7.3, which I use to broadcast here from my studio here, bedroom. And I can see that I've already got 5 people, and I just noticed I had a comment, and thank you, Edward, for that comment ramble. Which I'm just taking my hoodie off because I'm hot. I keep forgetting that every time I start this, because I've got lights on, because it's very professional here, I've got lights on, it sort of like makes me hot altogether. Yes, so I can actually see on my Wirecast now how many people are looking. It's almost like very reassuring, very exciting, and then very disappointing at the same time, because you look across and it sounds like it says 2, and then it says 0, and then it says 1, and then it says 0, and that's it. So it's a bit up and down. Now, normally we have a huge range of different segments to this show, and one of the segments that I normally have is tweets of the week. Now, sadly, this week we have no tweets of the week, mainly because at university it's a lot of assessments this week, and so people are writing assignments and they're doing presentations, so there's very little tweets going on. So it's a little bit more non-Twitter this week because everybody's working so hard. So I thought I can't really do a tweet of the week, and I've decided to try something slightly different with the website roundup, and I've decided to almost like, rather than me rabbiting on about articles in the news, what I thought I'd do is share them with you so you can go and decide which ones you actually want to go and see and view. But wait, because you might be thinking, hey, hang on a minute, I'm not getting me money's worth here. I do have another section because I thought it's about time that I give you some teaching ideas. So I thought every week what I would do is choose a topic and then give you some teaching ideas that you can use in your class by adapting them, TS5 up and down, etc, etc. So if there is ever, let me pop this on. If there is ever anything that you would like to give me as a starting point for a teaching idea, then by all means, just tweet it into me. You can tweet me in at iWilsonYSJ, or send me a message on Facebook. Just search for the Wilson Waffling page and you will find me there. And you can send it in to me, and I will, of course, do my best to give you some ideas, okay? And then you'll be very happy, and I'll be very happy, and everybody will be very pleased. So first up, we don't actually have any tweets of the week because of the reason I said earlier on. So first up, we are going to have a bit of the website roundup. Yes, the website roundup. The reason I was looking over there, by the way, is because I'm watching the picture go by. So rather than, I'm going to try something a little bit different. And I thought this is a bit like being on the radio, because sometimes when I'm on the radio, I tend to talk for a little while, and then I tend to play some music, and then I can have a rest and take a sip of coffee and eat a bit of chocolate. And I thought that would be an interesting thing to do here. And also, rather than just regurgitating the news items for you, I thought it'd be good for you just to have a look at it. Now, one thing I will say is that if there's any of these news items that if there's any of these news items that you suddenly think, oh, that's rather interesting, I would like to pick up on that, then I will be putting the links in the show notes underneath this video. Or remember, once this video is finished, I will be putting it up on YouTube so you can go and see it all. So what I've done is that I've put some snippets of news from the BBC education website together with a bit of music, and hopefully they're not going to go by too quickly so you can't see them, but hopefully you will be able to have a look at them and see what is in the news. So without further ado, because I've waffled for too much as usual, here are the news stories in this week's website roundup. Let's hope this works. And that was the website roundup. What did you think? I thought it sort of like gives you a little snapshot of it all rather than me just waffling over the top of it all the time. Plus, it allowed me a bit of time. Well, it actually didn't. Hang on a minute. One second. Cheers, guys. Don't worry, it's coffee. Did you expect me to be drinking anything else? I hope that sort of like gave you a snippet of some of the stories, and if there's anything on there, I particularly like the idea of screen time being rather than just guidelines, having some evidence for it. But if you would like to chase up or follow up on any of those stories, then please remember that the links for those will be down below as soon as I finish this show and I can update them. Okay, let's get on with some teaching ideas, because I know that we all like teaching ideas. So I saw on Facebook the other day, and I've just had a thought, I should have some pictures or something for this. I'm going to get some pictures next time. I promise you. I actually saw on Facebook the other day a video of a what's it called? A balloon. Not a balloon, a bubble. A bubble freezing. Okay, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I actually saw a video of a a bubble sort of like freezing. It looked, let me just whiz over and I'll show, it sort of like looked a bit like this one. This wasn't actually the one that it happened, but it sort of like had a video of soap bubbles actually freezing over, and I thought, what a wonderful starting point this would make. What a wonderful starting point this would make. So I thought, right, let's get some ideas together that would actually make a good starting point for freezing over bubbles. So, I mean, the first thing I thought, wouldn't be fantastic to create a poem to describe that freezing process, you know, and not necessarily a rhyming poem, but just a series of sentences, you know, like crystal slowly forming, you know, or flakes covered the surface, or something like that. Just a series of words to sort of like describe it, and the inspiration would actually be that soap bubble video, so to speak. And then the other thing I thought we could do is capture words or collect words to do with what we saw and what it looked like, and actually then make that into one of those soap bubbles, you know, so actually give the children circles and actually get them to draw the words in there. And I thought what you could actually do, if you were clever, is almost like do it on black paper and do it in white writing or something similar to that. So it looks a bit like a soap bubble, sort of like freezing over. I also thought, I remember at university just before Christmas, you could take your picture, have your picture taken in a snow globe. And I thought it would be fantastic to get the children to imagine what it would be like to be trapped in a bubble. You know, what's it like to be trapped in a bubble? And either a really strong bubble that sort of like gears as you sort of like push it and things like that, or a really fragile bubble that you're not allowed to move in, you know, for fear of breaking it. And it's sort of like, I thought you could work it both ways. You can either sort of like pretend that you're trapped in it by maybe some evil villain or something, or trying to protect it. Now, moving away from literacy, of course, if we go into numeracy, probably the best thing to talk about, I thought, is how cold it was with that bubble, and to look at negative numbers and things like that. And I thought negative numbers would be fantastic to do, you know, and you could do differences in numbers. So you could do, what's the difference between -8 and 0, or it starts at 0 and it goes down to -6. And I think those soap bubbles is actually sort of like, some of the videos are sort of like at minus 26 degrees or something like that. So it'd be really good to sort of like get the children to think about the different bubbles. Oh, you know, I've got a new thing on my my software here, and I've just noticed that somebody has given me a thumbs up on Facebook, and somebody else, oh no, how do you do this? Is that right? Is that how you do a love heart? Somebody's given me a thumbs up. Oh, I've got 2 thumbs up and 1. Now see, that looks like a love heart to me, but does it look like a love heart to you? It looks better around that way, but then it looks all upside down. Oh, I'm not very good. Oh, I'm not doing that. Yeah, 2 thumbs up and a love heart. Thank you very much. And 1 comment. Excellent. Thank you very much. Negative numbers. Yeah. So I thought negative numbers would be a really good thing to do. Now, moving into also as a scientific experiment, I thought we could say to the children, what do all liquids freeze? Do all liquids freeze? And we could give them as sort of like a series of liquids, so we can have things like, now I'm not just talking about water and so like different types of water. You could have coloured water, but I thought you could do something like washing up liquid, olive oil, Coca-Cola, things like that, shampoo, bubble bath, and say to the children, do you think they would all freeze? Do you think they would all freeze? What variables should we look at? You know, and this idea of keeping everything the same. And I thought you could actually use ice cube racks. You could get a whole load of ice cube racks. So each table had one of those, and they could use pipettes to fill them up and then sort of like put them into the freezer. And you could talk about one set amount of time and doing a little bit of a test, but then talk about why you think some of them froze or why they didn't freeze. And do some take longer to freeze? So rather than do they freeze or don't they freeze, which would be sort of like more sort of like key stage 1, in key stage 2 you can say how long would they take to freeze. And so you could actually sort of like start saying how long do you think it I've got a smiley face on Facebook. Somebody's given me a smiley face. Yes, smiley face. Love. Is that how you do a love heart? I need to know. Is that how you do a love heart? Excellent. I got a smiley face and 2 thumbs up and a love heart. Anyway, so you could say, which do you think will actually freeze the quickest? You know, and water could be the standard. And then, does washing up liquid freeze quicker than oil? Does oil freeze at all? So you could bring in that other variable of time at that point. Then I thought, keeping with science, I thought you could do, how do you stop an ice cube from melting? Or can you stop an ice cube from melting? And I thought, well, you could set up an experiment that, you know, that you measure the ice, you weigh the ice cube beforehand and then weigh it after to show water loss, you know. And the winners are the people who keep the ice cube the closest to this starting weight. So they don't all have to be the same ice cube, because you're doing it on weight loss, and that would be a better idea. Of course, if you're doing it on year 6, you can talk about percentages and things like that, which would be fantastic. But I thought you could actually give it a real life context, so to speak, and say that something like, you know, there's a huge iceberg that is about to drift off Antarctica. You could say that scientists are looking how to protect ice from this, so they can take samples of it and take it back home, you know, and they want to try to keep it frozen for as long as possible, but they can't. They want to do it environmentally friendly, so they don't want a huge refrigerated truck or anything like that. So they could have this wonderful idea about how to do that. Or, you know, that you're out in the open and you've already got limited stuff, which ones of these could you use? So I thought that would be a fantastic one as well. Art. I'm not very good at art. So does anybody have any art ideas about frozen stuff? Either, you know, crystals or snowflakes or anything like that. Anything that you could do with art. If you've got any ideas, then please add them in the comments below. And let me know of any great art ideas that you can have, that you have thought of or you have done with the theme Frozen or snow or anything like that. Now, music. I thought we could actually go into some composing here, and we can ask the children to create some music that reminds them of chilly weather or cold or ice melting or snow falling or something like that. And it could be quite like a graphic score, and you could have little snowflakes. And I thought you could actually I wonder if you could get some stamps or something like that, or children could cut out and make the graphic score. So they actually create these this composition to do with frozen music. So I thought that would be a good idea. So if you have any of your own ideas that you would like to contribute to the topic of freezing or freezing bubble, then by all means, you can tweet me and let me know your wonderful ideas. Let me just slide my Twitter name over here. You can either tweet me, and here it is. It's just, wrong way there, down there. It's actually at iWilsonYSJ on Twitter. Or if you would like to see what we're doing at YSJ at the present moment in time, then you could always have a look at the hashtag YSJ Prime Ed. Now then, we don't have a lot more time because we're nearly up to the half an hour, and I like to keep these to half an hour so they're a short snippet of ideas. But if there's any topic that you would like me to think of some teaching ideas, then by all means, yes, you can just tweet me, or you can put it in the comments below this video, either on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will definitely have a look at them and let you know what I think. Oh, what exactly is a graphic score and how does it work? Good question, Olivia. Good question. That's a question from Facebook. We've never had a question for Facebook. Okay, a graphic score. Let me see. Rather than trying to explain it, let's try to do something a little bit technical here. And let's see whether or not I can create one for you live on stream. That would be cool, wouldn't it? So let's just have a look. Let's start with this. And let's just do that. I'll be with you in 2 seconds, and then we'll be back over. I'm doing some magic here off screen, so you'll be able to see it. Right, here we go. We're going to nip into a program called Photoshop, but you don't have to be on Photoshop to do the graphic score. So the idea is that the children have a blank piece of paper like this. Let me just pick up a paintbrush. Paintbrush, please. Thank you. Let's just start with excellent. Let's just put a new layer on here so I can start painting, and let's just make that a little bit smaller. So the first thing that we end up having is that we end up having a straight line. Okay, so imagine the line. So the idea is that, imagine this, we're going to put a stick along this line, and when the stick goes, so the stick moves along like that, and you wait for your bit, and if you've got an instrument, then you play it. So say, for example, we wanted some tinkly triangles. We might put up here some triangles like this. Now what would happen here is that, imagine that my cursor now, can you see my cursor, is the teacher. As we move the stick along, when it comes to this, the children will go ding, 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 like that, and then carry on playing. Can you see what I mean? So everybody, so you might have another group of children. They might have a guiro, which is that thing, and we might have a sign for a guiro that looks like this, like that. So that's going like that. So again, as we move along, we'll have ding, 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 like that. And so that's what a graphic score is. And so you can either do it together, all together as a big one, or children can even make up their own, and they can make up their own symbols, or you could decide on set symbols to do, and then you can do it throughout you can make up anything with it, but you can have lines that children focus in on. So you could say, right, this is triangle players up here, these are the guiros, and go ruh, 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 or anything. And then you just stand there with a stick, or a meter rule I used to use, and slowly move across. And then as it hits one of the sounds or one of the symbols, the children know and play their instrument. And of course, what you could do then, one of the elements of music, you can change the tempo, and you can make it go faster and things like that. And what the other thing you can do, you can say, right, say for example, let's have a red. Say for example, this might be a quiet bash of a drum, so that might be bong. Well, this might be bang, like that. So as it come along, you would ding, 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 goo, bong, bang, like that. And so you could do sort of like dynamics as well. So hopefully, thank you for that question. I just hope that actually helped with that. Hopefully that helped. Okay, so really good for music and really good for bringing in a bit of composition as well. Okay, guys, it is nearly past, so the time is nearly up for Wilson Waffling Live. So please remember, I will be back next week. And we might have some tweets of the week next week, but if not, we'll definitely have some teaching ideas. So if you would like to ask me about a specific teaching idea, then just drop me a tweet there or add it down below for this video, and I will definitely feature that. If not, I'll just think of a different topic and see what captures my imagination as we go through the week, and then I will be back next week. So it only remains for me to say, as I cue up the music and the end of the show, only remains for me to say, guys, have fun with your teaching, and I'll catch you all later. And until then, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you keep an eye on Facebook, but always just consider yourself well and truly waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Wilson Waffling.